YouTube, what is going on? Proofs and Pudding here. Today I am back. It's been a long 7 months, but today I am bringing you an update, a vlog on my time at Full Sail. It's been 7 months. I've gone through 9 classes in those 7 months. There's a lot to get into. We're going to get into it today. Rundown of the classes we're going to talk about in order of the months that I did them. Color theory, digital storytelling, history of visual communication, project management and assessment 1, typography layout, digital publishing, professional communication and presentation, logos and symbols, and project management and assessment 2. That is 9 classes. There's 2 months where I had 2 classes for that month. I will be showing you guys examples from each of the classes, the different things we did, so you have an idea of what to expect when you do run into these classes. I've had, the last few months, I've had some very frustrating experiences with instructors that kind of, it sucked, basically. To say the least, and it was very stressful, but let's go ahead and get into it. So the first class we're going to talk about, color theory. As you can see, I got a folder here. I decided just to do examples. Color theory is exactly what it says. It's a theory of color, being able to explain and think of color combinations that will go and work together. We did many different projects. We here's one thing that we did do. This was a black and white image, as you can see, and what we had to do was, what we have is we had to go in and actually paint in all the clothes. We had to use different colors. No person can wear the same color clothes when it came to like the shirt and whatnot, and all that was Photoshop, paintbrush. We had to use masks in Photoshop, and this actually took a long time. I tried to get most of the color correct. This particular picture is not completely finished. I didn't get any skin tones finished on this one, or background or anything. This is the only one I could find at the moment to show you what we were doing here. And then the next example was the game of phones. This one we made a crest. I used these birds here I made in a different class. I don't remember the exact class. Oh, it's right here. Design and art theory is where I made these birds at. We had to take our phone, we had to make it in Illustrator, then we had to make a shield for it, pick colors, and we had to put those colors into the shield and make a shield. Wasn't anything huge and crazy. This class was actually a little more laid back. It was a fun class. Okay, so next class we have digital storytelling. Okay, I know I mentioned that some of the classes I had a very frustrating time with the instructor. It was the last 3 classes, but it was also this class as well. I don't know, the guy didn't like me or what, but he wasn't a fan of anything I was doing, apparently. I did still get a B+, which made no sense to me, but it is what it is. So one of the first assignments we did is we had to create a statistical poster. At the time of this class, it was Super Bowl season. As you can see, the date modified, February 7th. It was Super Bowl season, so me being a football fan, I decided, well, why don't we try this out? And this is what I came up with. I took all the, I don't know why it's updating like that, it's weird. I took the top QBRs of quarterbacks in the NFL season down here on the bottom, and I put all their stats up as well as their quarterback rating. Now, you did have to go in and do research on this. It's basically just questioning whether or not QBR matters when it comes to being a Super Bowl quarterback, and in this case, I didn't think it mattered. Yeah, this was something I threw together. This was actually a pretty fun project for me, just because, again, I like football. Next project that we had was, we actually had a few of these in this month, if I can open it. We had to take a word and we had to create logos with the word. Well, not logos, but like make the word look like what it is or whatever. So here we had fish, we had fish, and then this one is like fish as in fishing. I threw a hook in there. Just another, again, this was a simple class. One thing I do want to show you is we had to create a video, a placement ad basically for product that we made ourselves. I'm gonna see if I can get this up for you and we can watch it together as a team.
This is a paid advertisement for No Bright Shades.
So you're out dancing, having a good time, taking pictures, lots of flashing lights, smoke. When you feel it, your eyes feel like they're on fire. That burning sensation, throbbing, and there's only one way to fix it. No bright shades. Use them on the road, while you sleep, hiking in the mountains, anywhere. No bright shades. Order yours today.
That's all it was. Apparently he didn't like my idea. It was supposed to be a crazy, not realistic thing, and he said that it was improbable that someone would wear shades in, whatever, and that my name didn't make sense, and to me, I didn't realize I was learning how to create products and name them and basically sell them. I didn't realize that was my job. I told a story like I was supposed to do based on the class PDF and what I was told to do, and he basically obliterated every student in that class. Was not a fan of the guy. I can't remember his name, nor do I really care to remember his name. Anyway, the next month we have is History of Visual Communication. This was a fun and pretty demanding class. Here we have a playing card that we had to make. Let's see, I believe this will open up for all the pieces. Now it is a little bit grainy, so bear with the quality on this. I don't know why it got like that, but we were supposed to make a playing card based off of a certain art style. In my case, this was Art Deco, and we got to pick the number and the, whether it was club or heart or whatever, based on our birthday, I believe it was. And this is the card that I made. Pretty simple, wasn't much, just made it. Next we had the quote illustration. We had to find a quote online and we had to make an illustration of it. I can't for the life of me remember. I think it was creativity is the mind having fun or something like that. It was an Einstein quote. I'm sure you can find it pretty easily. Yeah, this is what I came up with. It's bright and all trippy and weird, and I believe this one also had to have a certain art style, and I believe mine was psychedelic was the art style. So hopefully you guys can see the art style in that. The next class was the two classes in 1 month. I'm not going to go over project management assessment. We'll do that last because they're both basically the same thing. So we'll go over typography and layout. This class was okay. This was our first time This was our first time touching InDesign. Not a fan of this software at all. But here, one project we did, we had to pick a font that we liked. We had to read about it and learn about it, find out who the creator of the font was, have the uppercase, lowercase on here, and then we had to find a design, what did they say, a creative way of portraying the artist of the font. And in this case, I have an explanation of the font, and if you can tell here, follow my mouse, basically an outline of it, of the creator's head, Mr. Renner, Paul Renner. The next project we have is Magazine. This one is actually pretty interesting. We had to create the nameplate here, and then we had to create a full magazine cover. We had to create the different articles and stuff. This person is a real person. He is actually on YouTube. Definitely go check him out. He's a buddy of mine, Alfredo. He does covers of songs. He takes requests. Definitely go check him out. Anyway, yeah, this is what I came up with. This picture was a screenshot actually of one of his videos, and I went ahead and did a little of my own design work on it and created this. I thought it came out pretty well. I thought it looked cool. It looked different. It was the blue's not too bright, but it's bright enough to pop off the page. And I had fun with this one. Again, this was also done in InDesign, which I do not like personally, but it doesn't matter. You got to learn it anyway. Next class, digital publishing. This one, I don't have much to show here. This is one of the teachers I've actually had twice in a row now. The class I just finished up, logos and symbols, and this class was the same instructor. I've had a terrible experience both times with them. I'm not very happy. This class I don't have much to show you, and that's my fault for not saving my files here, so hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt later. What we had to do was find a box, nothing too big, and we had to get the measurements of each flap. I'm sorry if you can't see this very well, but we had to get the measurements of each crease and flap, and then we had to recreate the box. We actually had to make the box again. So this is the box that I just showed you the measurements of, and then I had to recreate the box, and it came out exactly the same. It was actually, this project itself was pretty fun. This was the very first week. Professional communication and presentation. This class, so the links are below. You guys can check out the videos. It's 2 Google Hangout meetings that we had to have play these dumb games, and then we had to make videos. You guys can check those out as well. And last month we had 2 classes. Here we go. Logos and symbols. Again, I had the same teacher as I did with digital publishing. This class was extremely repetitive. It was insane. I think I did over 100 sketches. 40 of them were of the same thing, just like a different variation of things. So that here, I can bring up 2 of these here so you can see them. These are some of the sketches I was doing. This is for a daycare, which you guys will see the final logo of the daycare that I chose. This is actually the second set of sketches I did. We had to have 10 other sketches that were extremely rough draft. I'll show you one of the original ones that I did. So there's those, and then here's these. We're just supposed to make a logo for a daycare. We had certain limits and things that we couldn't do. We weren't allowed to use blocks because the daycare, quote unquote, said that it was used too much. The theme of the daycare was, it was called Kids Cove. I did some research on coves, and I noticed a lot of them had rock formations that kind of created a triangle, so I stuck with the triangle theme as much as I could. And this one down here was the one that I actually went with right there. Here's the original sketch. This was a little too in-depth. Here's the first sketch, the second sketch, and then I will show you the final that I had here once Illustrator opens up. Alright, so here's the final. We had a certain inch amount that we had to create the logo from. So this one was a certain amount as far as height and width, and so was this one. He wanted one that was black and white, and then he wanted one that was colored, and we could only use 2 colors, so I had to pick and choose wisely in how I created these, and that's what I came up with. I thought it came out okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. And then let's see, line variety. This was a robot guy. We had to take these lines, stretch them out, and create like shadows and shading and stuff. And that's what I came up with when my character was done. We had something to base it off of. We kind of had to mimic it. So again, this class was very time consuming, and the instructor was not very good. So that leads us to the final class, which is actually 2 classes. This is project management and assessment. I was not a fan of this class at all. We had to design everything on our own. What else did we have? Okay, no, this is the second file. So we had to have the main file like so. We had to have the subfolders. My first time doing, because this is our second work file that we've done. I had textures, but I didn't add any extra textures into this one. For inspiration, I added the scenes folder. In the people folder, I added children. In the elements, I added skylines, and then you had to put the pictures in. It was that simple, but it was still annoying because you had to search up all these pictures. So that was that. That was the classes in a nutshell. Again, thank you guys for checking it out. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I've had people find me on Facebook and ask me questions. I'm perfectly fine with that. Twitter @ProofsandPuddin'. Instagram, I don't really use it. Snapchat, I don't really use it, but you can still search me there @ProofsandPuddin'. Same thing. Don't forget to check me out on twitch.tv/ProofsandPuddin'. Get some live answers. Check me out, play some games, whatever. Don't forget to hit that sub button, smack that like around, and we will catch you guys next time. Appreciate ya.